How does this impact Aaron Rodgers' future with the Green Bay Packers, if at all?
No, that's one of the many questions that have crossed my mind too, Key. I mean, look, think about it. So they're 7-1. He's playing great again. Not as great as he played last year when he won the MVP, but still really well. They're overcoming all these injuries. They're getting all these guys back, right? David Bakhtiari, their left tackle, is going to play, and Marquez Valdez-Scantling, their downfield threat, is going to play, and Devontae Adams, who is vaccinated and tested positive last week and missed last week's game, is going to be back. Everything is coming together here. He's talking about how he and Brian Gutekunst, the GM, had been great conversations. Like everything's, seashells and balloons. And then this happens, and then you add in the level of deception intentionally that he is guilty of here. And then you start to think, well, Brian Gutekunst was frustrated with him this offseason. Now the team can be in trouble, right? They could be facing fines for not following all the protocols. He's put this team in position where, they could lose to Mahomes and the Chiefs on Sunday. They could not have him back for Seattle. They could lose that game. And now suddenly you're going from, if the season ended today, you're the number one overall seed, you get the only bye in the conference. So you could also have created a much more difficult playoff road. So I don't know what the far-reaching implications are going to be, but this doesn't help for anyone who wanted to see him come back in 2022 and thought everything was maybe going to be fixed because of the way this season was going.
Jason, you said that he's put Gutekunst and the Green Bay Packers in a bad position. Why is that when they most likely knew all along that he wasn't vaccinated in this particular situation could come up?
Yeah, so I think that they are, to a degree, complicit in this. Now, our understanding is once the NFL informed Rodgers, and perhaps even before they informed him, that his alternative vaccine or whatever he's calling it was not going to count toward him being considered vaccinated, that he has been in the facility doing all the things that unvaccinated players are required to do based on the NFL protocols, being tested every day, wearing a mask, distancing to a greater degree than his other teammates have to while in the facility. Now, he hasn't been wearing a mask when he's been doing his press conferences with us, which is in the facility, which means he should have been wearing a mask. But the question I have is, some of these rules, I'm sure you guys have seen this. I had not read these rules until yesterday, that unvaccinated players aren't supposed to travel with the team.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even realize that. They're not supposed to go to gatherings of more than 3 teammates. Well, John Wick was at the Halloween party the team had, right? So I think the Packers, knowing that he's not vaccinated, but also knowing that he's not following all the rules and them being involved in him not following all the rules is going to come back to bite him. I mean, what was New Orleans fined? $500,000? The Baltimore Ravens were fined $250,000 for not following protocols. They've got hidden cameras throughout every facility in the league to monitor this stuff. I think they're going to probably face some sanctions.
Jason Wilde joining us, ESPN Milwaukee, here on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Jay, I got to ask you this because, both Key and I are friends with a lot of different athletes, and we have those relationships. And sometimes you get put in these situations where you still have to do your job, and it's always challenging, which you've been doing an incredible job of, by the way. But you may mention that you should have pinned Aaron Rodgers at that moment. How will you guys handle that moment moving forward with Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, that's a great question, Jay, because that is our job, right? And I have a great relationship with the guy. I think he is a good human being. I don't think this changes that, but I don't think you can be anything less than disappointed in the way he chose to go about this. And so he needs to be asked some really tough questions. I don't know when we're going to have that opportunity. But, again, he's a smart guy, and he knows those questions are coming now. Now, I think he probably thought he's a smart guy and he can avoid all this, and it turned out he was wrong. But, he and I did a radio show for 4 years from 11 to 14 on ESPN Wisconsin. And when we first started, he said, I know you have a job to do. I never want you to ask me a question in advance so I know it's coming. I know your ethics are important to you. So whatever you have to ask, I can handle it. And I was hearing that voice yesterday because when we talk to him, whenever that's going to be, he knows that there's going to be some really harsh questions coming. And he's going to have to know how to handle those. But it is our job, like you said, to ask those, and we will most definitely ask them when that opportunity comes.
Jason, one thing that occurs to me is that in the short term, it's really bad for Aaron Rodgers. He looks bad. It's gonna be a rough stretch, and he deserves what's coming, like in terms of media and fan reaction. That said, long term, it seems to me the Packers have a chance here to skyrocket the odds that he stays in Green Bay. Like that might be the long-term biggest story out of all this. If they have his back now, it seems to me that that's what he's talking about in terms of relationships after he didn't just now treat them very well in a relationship. What do you think about the idea that this could increase the chances he stays in Green Bay?
Well, let me ask you this, Max. If you're the team that's acquiring him, has the price gone down, right? Does this affect what the trade compensation might be? And has it affected what his market would be? Like, look, for all this stuff and all this hand-wringing, and I'm guilty of it too because I'm disappointed in him, but the reality is the guy's still a really, really good quarterback, right? I mean, he's got to turn 38 next month. He has been fantastic this year. He does not show any signs of slowing down. So do I think there's still going to be interest in him? Yes. Do I wonder if this is also something for him, though, where he will feel the need to kind of, I don't want to say make up for it, but like change the way he's going to be viewed in the short term? And does that make him want to stay? I don't know.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.